Welcome to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by LA's First Choice Auto Auction on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. It's your chance to hear directly from the head of Lion football. Now, live from Topola Catering in downtown Hammond, here's Alan Waddell.
Saturday night, our Lions stood toe-to-toe with Sam Houston State in Huntsville, Texas, which historically has been a tough place for our Lions to play. Trailing 28-10 in the fourth quarter, our Lions rallied to make the score 28-25, but just couldn't come up with another stop to top the ranked Bearcats. Our Lions will now turn their attention to the McNeese State Cowboys for Southeastern's home finale of 2018. And that's right, Lions fans, it's officially McNeese Hate Week here in Hammond. Anyone who wears the green and gold certainly pays attention when the Lions and the Cowboys get together, as McNeese has not won in Hammond since 2010, and that's a streak the Lions will try to continue in the 2:30 kickoff at Strawberry Stadium this Saturday afternoon. Good evening, Lion fans. I'm Alan Waddell, and I want to welcome you to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction, live from our home, Topola, right here in Hammond. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be tonight, whether on the Lions Radio Network or watching live on Facebook or the archive on YouTube. We'll be with you until 8 o'clock, and over the next hour, we'll get Coach Scelfo's thoughts on the game against Sam Houston State and get a preview of this week's game against McNeese State. But first, let's take a break. When we come back, I'll be joined by the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Frank Scelfo. Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo is presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topola on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Hey Lion fans, we're ready for another exciting year of women's basketball. Get your season tickets now and line up.
Domestic violence and sexual assault is an issue affecting college campuses all across the country.
Every student has the right to pursue an education free from violence.
As a coach and leader of young men
And women, I know I play a pivotal role in creating the culture our students live in.
Here at Southeastern, we are committed to changing the culture. Sexual violence and physical abuse are never okay.
Lions just don't stand by. We act.
I am pledging to do my part.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am,
I am the solution.
and I will set the expectation.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am? I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
All right, welcome back here to Topola Catering in downtown Hammond. I'm Alan Waddell. This is Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction in Topola on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. At this time, we're going to welcome to the show the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Frank Scelfo. Coach, thanks for coming by and spending your Monday night with us.
I appreciate you having me, Alan. Thank you.
No
Thanks
problem.
for everybody out here, too. Thank y'all.
I'll tell you what, it's hard to believe this season's flying by. We only got a couple of games left. As it seems like we just started doing this a few weeks ago, but now we only got a couple of these left.
Yeah. It's you want it to go forever,
right?
Because you want to keep these guys together and keep doing what you're doing, and we enjoy so much what we're doing. But you only have so many opportunities every fall, and you got to take advantage of each and every one of them because you can't get them back.
Coach, over the last 5-6 years, Sam Houston has really been one of the top programs, not only in our conference, but in FCS football. It's always tough to go down there and play at Bauer Stadium. You go down and you play a very competitive football game. It's 28-25 there in the fourth quarter, and you give yourself a chance to steal one on the road and come up just short.
Yeah, it's kind of like been our calling card this year. We had some opportunities and didn't take advantage of it, and we talked about the keys of the game going into this thing, and offensively it was we get down in the red zone, we got to score touchdowns. We talked about it last week, in fact, on this show, and we need to score touchdowns when we get down there and field. You can't swap out for field goals, and we kicked one field goal and missed another one, and I know Jonathan was really disappointed in that one, as everybody was, but we got to take advantage of that. And then we had, from an assignment standpoint, defensively, we had to do a better job and can't give up a big play, an explosive play like we did. So, when those things happen, you can't expect to walk away and say, we earned the right to win or anything like that. Those guys earned it. They got it. They got it done. I
thought you just brought up a good point. We had to settle for a couple of field goals. They were able to score touchdowns in there because really, if you look at the game, it's scary how close the statistics were. They run 76 plays, we run 77. We have 453 offense, they have 455. So, one or two plays and it goes a different way.
Yeah. And I think a big telling stat too is we were 2 of 13 on third downs offensively. Yep. So we got to continue those drives, which keeps them off of the field, but gives us an opportunity to score. And the fake punt worked out well for us. We did go for it on fourth down another time and didn't get it, but. There were some opportunities for us on third down that we didn't convert, and that was disappointing.
Coach, I thought defensively, I know last week you really challenged your team after Abilene. Didn't have a good performance against Abilene. They had a bunch of yards rushing the football. And again, this is one of the top offensive teams, not only in the Southland, but in FCS football. I thought defensively you played better. You got a couple of sacks. You caused some turnovers, gave your offense some short fields.
Yeah, we did. I thought defensively they played a much better game this time. We did a better job against the run. I think late in the game we had some guys get a little too excited and got out of their gaps when they were able to run the football and burn the clock up, on the 4-minute right at the end. So we'd stopped in 2 previous series. That's why we elected to kick it deep and try to get a short field for us to get a field goal to tie it up or score a touchdown to win it right there at the end. But I think defensively we did. We played better. We did a better job physically up front. We challenged some of our guys, and they came through. Again, when I know Philando got beat on our sideline the one time for the deep ball, but, that's a heck of a throw and catch. And whether he was in bounds or not, I don't know. They couldn't replay it. But, you don't mind those. What you don't like is a guy on the fourth play of the game running down the sideline by himself and, you give up a touchdown because of a busted coverage. That's what you don't like. And that's, that's something that, you just can't happen. That doesn't happen to good football teams.
Coach, were you happy the way we were able to get after the quarterback? I thought we got a little more pressure this week than we have in the last few weeks.
Yeah, we did. I know Xavier on that last one, that sack strip fumble, that was really timed up well. They'd given us a different formation, some stuff with it, and he had to make some adjustments there. And his experience is really starting to show for us on the back end. We're really, all over the field. He's able to understand more. He hadn't played in a couple of years. So from an experience standpoint, he's starting to gain it. He's starting to understand. He's got better knowledge of the game and the defense, and it's helping us out all across the field. So with him being able to get free, get some hits on the quarterback, and we did. We got some good hits on him. Tough kid, man. He stood in there and didn't flinch, and, tribute to him. But we did hit him. We did a better job getting after the quarterback and trying to affect him.
You mentioned Xavier Lewis. Also, Philando Jordan had a nice interception in this one. I think it was his 3rd or 4th of the year. So he's had a talk about his growth. He's a young player, but he had an interception against ULM, and I thought that was an outstanding play he made in this one against man coverage.
They got their 2 receivers, 14 and 81, really good players. 14 got hurt early in the game, and I'm not sure his status, but hope it's not bad. He's such a good player. And 81 was the other guy. So we decided in man coverage, we're going to put Xavier on 14, and he's got him wherever he goes, and we're going to put Philando on 81, and he's got him wherever he goes. And they went right after Philando right off the bat, and he did such a good job. But his evolution playing the position, I think, is really from game 1 to now. He's had some ups and downs, which you're going to have, but he's been challenged, and he stands up in there every time. He's a pleasure to watch. He understands the game. He's involved in the game. He loves the game. He's passionate about the game of football, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. But gaining the experience this year, not having played before, has really been valuable to him. So on that play, it was one-on-one, him and 81. They took a shot, threw it up, and he turned, competed for the ball and picked it off.
Coach, I thought in this football game we ran the ball probably as well as we have all year, 179 yards. Is that a high for this season? I think it's probably close. Yeah, 179 yards this year was a high rushing game for you this season. That's something we've kind of talked about every week, and it just feels like that running game has just gotten better each and every week.
It has. Our balance was a lot better this week, and I think sometimes that's overlooked. You say, well, if you throw it a bunch of times, and that's good, but there were some times Saturday that Sam knew we were going to run the football based on formation or what they called. You could tell they were geared up to stop the run and were still able to run the football and gain positive yardage. So I think that's a tribute to what we're doing up front. I think Coach Hop and Michael are doing a great job up front with our guys, transition to getting going north and south more and being more physical. We had some good push at the point of attack, and it opened up some scenes for the running backs. But, you got to give credit to Devontae and DJ. They both did a really good job of either making the first guy miss or breaking the tackle on the first guy and picking up extra yardage, because both of those things happened to both of those guys during the course of the game.
Coach, you look at the season to this point, 3 games this year decided by 1 possession. And certainly I know that's a growth thing for the program, and these guys just got to figure out a way to win those close ones.
Yeah, we do. We had opportunities in all those games to win those games, and whether it's closing them out on defense, like maybe ULM, or even the other night, the other Saturday afternoon, stopping them, forcing them to punt, and giving us the ball back. Whatever it is, we got to be able to take advantage of that and do that, and we got to trust who we are, and that's where we kind of fell apart at the end of the game in that last drive. Guys got out of their gap, got out of position, trying to go make a play instead of just doing what you're coached to do and really doing what they had done the whole game. And some of those plays got stuffed for no gain during the course of the game, and we just kind of short-circuited. A few guys didn't, got out of position. Even the first play was a busted play. The quarterback went one way, the back went the other, and then he took off running. But we had guys that were not in position where they should have been. So those things happen, I guess. They're happening too much for me, I can tell you that.
Lions have a couple of games left, and I know we had a chance to visit, after your press conference here today, and we talked a little bit. And one of the comments I made is, you got a couple of games yet. You got McNeese, you got Nichols, and listen, they're all important. But for people around here, these games are always a little bit circled. McNeese, Nichols, and this is a big one this Saturday. A chance to. They're in first place, and it'd be certainly nice to wreck their season right here in Hammond.
Well, it is, but I don't look at it that way. I know you guys do.
I do.
I know you do. I know you do. But for us, it's a chance for us to get better and play and win a game at home, man. That's what I want to do. And if it happens to be them, so be it. But I want us to show what we can do for 60 minutes. If we can play 60 minutes of football, man, you just feel so good about it, and not have the breakdowns or the mental lapses that we've been having it, and don't turn it over. All the little things that we talk about each and every week, and it's not just 1 or 2 people. It's, sometimes it's just different guys across the board. So for me, recruiting is important. Obviously the win's important. But look, we're going to be head-to-head with these guys in recruiting on all the high school kids coming out of this area. So we're going to be head-to-head in them. We're going to be head-to-head against Nichols. All that's going to take place. We're battling them right now in the recruiting process. And, we're recruiting the same guys. And, so winning and losing on the field sometimes makes a difference in that recruit's decision. Whoever wins this week, that's where I'm going to commit to. And they make those decisions like that. And it's important. Like I said, I got maybe a different agenda than you have, but I want to build this program, and winning this week is the right way to do it for us.
Lions are going to take on McNeese this Saturday afternoon at home. It's hard to believe it's the final home game of the season already. 2:30 kickoff at home as the Lions are going to take on McNeese. We're going to talk more about that later on in the show, more around 7:30 or so. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to walk through this last week. We'll get Coach to break down the game against Sam Houston State, talk about some big plays in that game, and we'll kind of walk through there as it played out on Saturday over there in Huntsville. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Hey Lion fans, your defending Southland Conference champions return to the court very soon. We are very excited about this season. Get your season tickets now. It's going to be a great year. Line up.
Imagine life without football. No Friday night lights, no pep rallies, no band. All that time invested to teach young men and women commitment and team spirit, gone. Football, where young men and women compete to be the best, where bands, cheerleaders, and countless others take part in the team experience. Celebrate the passion that only happens every fall. Join the game.
Each summer, student-athlete leaders from the Southland Conference's 13 schools get together for a retreat. Before we start another season of competition, there's time to have some fun and bond. We also share experiences of serving our campuses and communities. Together, Southland student-athletes completed more than 30,000 community service hours over the past year. We pull for each other and push to make each other better. Just part of what makes us Southland strong.
All right, welcome back here to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo. As always, it's presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. Talking Lion football, we do this each and every Monday night as the Lions this past Saturday went on the road and took on Sam Houston State. Dropped the heartbreaker 28-25 to the Bearcats. Bearcats were a top 25 team in this game. Lions had an opportunity to win, just couldn't quite make the play there in the fourth quarter to get the ball back. Felt like if we'd have got another shot, might could have went down there and got points and either tied it or took the lead. Certainly played well there in that fourth quarter. Let's kind of walk through this one, Coach, as certainly you go over there on the road. It's always a tough place to play. This is a team that always plays well at home over in Bauer Stadium. I don't know what their record is over the last 10 years, but it's got to be good. I mean, they're very hard to beat in that facility. And really, the way the game started didn't really start very well for us. They hit a big play over the top, and they jump out 7-0 in this game.
Yeah, we had a busted coverage like we talked about earlier, Alan, and those are the things that really get you. We had a blitz on, brought some pressure, and then we just let a guy run free. So that was disappointing to start that way. But, you know what, again, I think the resiliency of our kids continues to show. And we go back down and we throw an interception, they burn it back to the 15 and score again. It's 14-0 before you could even blink. But our guys kept playing, and I think that's the growth that we've seen throughout the course of the season of them not giving up, of them playing hard, of them continuing to compete, and let's see where it goes from there. But they did that. So you hate to see it happen, but you like to see how they came back from it. Sometimes you want to see. I always said when you're looking at quarterbacks and you watch them throw touchdown passes and stand back there and stay clean the whole game. That's really not a good evaluation. You want to see them get hit, get knocked down, get sacked, throw a pick, and then see what they do after that. See how they handle things to find out the toughness. And speaking about your quarterback, I mean, I thought early on in the game he looked a little shaky. I mean, they were getting after him a little bit. I mean, he threw a couple interceptions there in the first half, and then but really played well down the stretch. And to your point, I thought he really hung in there and played well. And I thought they would come out and play a little more spirited defensively after they gave up 400 yards rushing to Lamar a week ago. And I thought they did that early on. It was, to me, I'm sure this was concerning for you as well. We kind of did like we did against LSU, where we'd get 7 or 8 yards on first down on those few possessions, and then we'd have a penalty, and then we'd have to back up. We'd almost lose the positive yards we got on first down. Got us off schedule on those first few possessions. It did. A couple of those things happened just like that. We took a sack one time, got us outside the chains again. So when those things happen, that's when you got to regroup a little bit, take a deep breath, and gather your guys around. The offensive line sometimes does a great job. Maybe we miss a read or drop a pass or something like that. Or 4 guys block, 1 guy gets beat and he gets sacked. And the other guys are looking around and say, what happened? And you tell them, hey, you guys did a good job. That's okay. Keep doing what you're doing. It's not always all 11 guys that screwed up a play. Sometimes majority of the time it's just 1 guy. The other 10 are really playing well. So I think to recognize that sometimes is overlooked. And, we try to do a good job of that. We try to keep an eye out for all those guys so that they don't get their heads down. It's 7-0 or 14-0, but it's not because you're playing poorly. We just had a couple of breakdowns somewhere else. You're playing well. Keep doing that. And I think that the message did get through to them the other day. Coach, you talked about the fake punt a little earlier. You pulled that out there in the first. I think was that our first fake of the year? Well, it's not the first one we called, but it's the first one that they gave us an opportunity to. I'll call them now. I'm okay with that.
I want to know if you had one in the bag or not.
Yeah, we got one in the bag every week, and we got a couple in the bag every week. But you just got to get the right look. So a lot of times it's a check for us, and it's something that we carry with us every week. And when they give us that look, we do it. And we just missed the block on the edge. It could have gone for a lot more. It really had a chance to really split them because we had turned them the other way. And so Ross Jenkins did a good job finding that one this week. You got to go back through every game during the course of the season, try to find some stuff, especially in the kicking game. But that's been a really good phase for us, is the kicking game.
So, Coach, your team was down 14-0 in this game. You put together a nice drive. You get down there and make it 14-7. Highlighted really on a big play to Branson Schwabel. You go play action under center and throw it down the field. He's had some big plays in the passing game this year and really gave you an opportunity. That was really the first play that really jump-started us offensively.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see the energy on the sideline starting to go up on that. You could feel that. Their atmosphere was good. It's a sunny day. The wind was blowing, so you kind of it felt good for them to be at home, I'm sure. But when we made that, Branson ran a nice route, post over the middle, and Jason saw him. Well-designed play. And Jason saw him. We hit him on it, and he took it on down to about the 30. I guess it was about a 50-yard pass. And so it put us in position to go down and score. But, when you look at those things, sometimes you need an explosive play to get your guys going. It's tough to go 12, 15, 18 plays and pick up first downs along the way, score touchdowns. You need to have big plays along the way, and Branson gave it that the other day.
Yeah, 50-yard reception, and then cap it off with a touchdown pass from Jason Virgil to Juwan Petit-Frere. Makes the score 14-7. You come out and you get a defensive stand. They have a miscue on a special teams play where I don't know if the punter just dropped it or if it went over his head. I actually can't remember right off the top of my head.
Well, we brought pressure on that one. That was the only one we pressured. We felt like we could get to him. So we brought pressure, and really you can really see it on film. The ball was coming, and he picked his eyes up, and he just basically hit him in the hands. It was a good snap. Hit him in the hands. He dropped it, and we were able to stop him right there. So that's two big special teams plays, one with us punting the football and faking it, and the other one with bringing a block and them dropping the football.
You get the football on the 20-yard line. You go down, you get it into the 1 yard. And this is what we were talking about earlier. You got to turn those things into touchdowns. I mean, is there any thought in your head? I know you hate kicking field goals from the 1 yard line.
Yeah, you do. I mean, but we needed points. We needed points, Alan. When you're playing like we're playing, I think all the points count. And we felt like we were playing better defensively. After that first series, and then we had the interception down to the 16, they scored. But other than that, we're playing pretty good on defense. So, when you get down in there, I think it was third and goal from about the 10. We hit CJ on a little route, missed a block, got tackled right at the 1. And, just kick the field goal. Let's go ahead. We're playing good defense. We're in good shape. Let's keep going where we're going.
I thought, brought that point up, the pass to CJ. Was that a new – I feel like we ran that little tunnel screen a little more this week than we had. Got some of our receivers in space, and not really a tunnel screen. You're throwing it out there, and you kind of have blockers in front. It's almost an extension of the run game.
Yeah, it is. It's a slant route. It's a quick slant behind a stack. Some people call it a pick play. We don't use that term. We just say that was a good route. It was a slant route in behind them. But, yeah, we did. We used it a lot this week because it fit what kind of way Sam was playing us. So, it just hadn't been available to us in the past. But it did. It got us in there. Like I said, it's those decisions if you don't make it. And, now if you don't make the first down, but we hadn't been running the ball well. If you don't make the touchdown there, you give them the ball there on the 1, which if your defense is playing well, you can do, you got a chance to make them punt the ball out of the end zone. And but if you get to 3 points, now we're kicking off again. So we opted for the 3 points to go from there.
So the Lions trail at that point 14-10. Sam puts together a drive. They get down. Your defense holds them out, makes them settle for a field goal. They botch the field goal attempt. They just missed the snap. It's a bad snap. And you go in the locker room 14-10. And I just felt like there was a lot of momentum going in the locker room on your sideline.
Yeah, we did too, man. Going in, it was a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. There was, guys felt good about themselves. We'd fallen behind 14-0 so fast. And sometimes when you looked up during the course of the game, you went, we should be behind 28 or 35-0, it felt like early on. But we weren't. It was 14-10. We felt good about that. And, in the locker room at halftime, the spirits were high. We were ready to play, I thought.
And the way the game started, they jump out 14-0. And listen, again, anybody that follows this league, in those situations, Sam Houston, they run people out the gym. They score and score and score, and you can't stop it. When you fall down 14-0, going in the locker room 14-10, you probably would have taken that if I'd have told you there at that point.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, we felt good, but the players felt good. coaches, we can feel how we want to feel, but they're the ones playing. So they felt good about being out there. And, going in the locker room, you heard some leadership kind of took over. There were some guys saying some good things. And, so you kind of felt good about going out. We made some adjustments at halftime on both sides of the football to give us a chance. Maybe I know we ran the ball better in the second half, but a couple of things in protection that we changed up that helped out. So you make those adjustments at halftime, but it's when you feel good going in, it's much better received. So
the Lions trailed 14-10 on the road against Sam Houston State. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to break down an eventful second half that took place over in Huntsville, Texas, right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo. And as always, it's presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for providing the facilities to meet my health and nutritional needs in order for me to be the best student athlete I can be.
For making game day experiences go from ordinary to extraordinary.
For allowing me to meet new people and build lifelong friendships while competing at the school I love.
For giving me the resources to pursue my degree and the ability to excel in the classroom.
For helping me look my best as I compete and achieve my goals.
Thank you.
Hey Lion fans, I'm Frank Scelfo, the head football coach for your Southeastern Lions. It's important for us to excel on the field, but it's even more important for us to recognize our great community partners.
That's why we have this exciting new promotion here at Big Frog with Southeastern Athletics.
Come by our Big Frog location on Southwest Railroad Avenue for exclusive Frank Scelfo design shirt.
That's right. When you wear your exclusive shirt to any Lions football game at Strawberry Stadium, be sure to stop by the concession stand to claim your free order of nachos for being a proud supporter of Southeastern Athletics and Big Frog. So hurry on down to Big Frog at our Hammond location and pick up your shirt today.
Lion up and frog on!
All right, welcome back. Almost halfway home here on our program. I want to thank you for joining us on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo. And as always, it's presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. I'm Alan Waddell. I want to thank you for joining us. If you're on the network tonight or also on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching. If you're watching on Facebook, you want to send in a question for Coach Scelfo, you can do so. Right underneath the box there, you can type in a question, and we'll read those aloud here at the end of the show. We'll get Coach to answer any questions you may have. We went to break. We were talking about the Lions game last week against Sam Houston State. It was certainly a close game. Dropped that one 28-25. We trailed 14-10 at halftime. Felt like we had a lot of momentum going to the locker room. I thought, I know Rob, I didn't get a chance to go this, but the first game I missed this year, Coach, but I watched every snap on television, and I know that the guys that they called me at halftime, and I said, you know what, I feel like we're going to win this one. I just felt like that everything was kind of going our way there late in the second quarter, especially getting the ball to start the third quarter.
Yeah, we felt the same way too.
Yeah.
You feel good, and then you. Especially knowing we're going to get the ball to start the second half. And, again, going in, challenging the guys to do what we needed to do. Nothing spectacular. Just be consistently good at what we do. And, we had turned it over twice in the first half. Yeah. We had a busted coverage. One of the turnovers led to another touchdown. So, there's the points for them. That's what we had to do. So we felt good in the second half, especially the way our defense was playing.
Coach, kind of a weird play in the third quarter. You get the football and just kind of a fluke play. You run, a speed sweep to Jake and Graffy. They come out, put the helmet on the ball, and it shoots backwards 18 yards, and they end up tackling us inside the one. But we got the ball back. Thank goodness for that. But it looks like, we got a little momentum. We're putting something together, and then a big play like that, and really throws you off schedule, and you have to punt out of your end zone.
Yeah, and that's, that was always tough. When you punt out of the end zone, it's going to get the ball at 40, 50-yard line. But that, Jake's got to hold on to the football. We can't we put the ball in your hands. We trust in you got everybody's career in your hands, so you got to take care of the football. But guy put his helmet right on the football, scored it out the back end, and thank goodness we got back there and recovered it.
They were able to put together, they had a short field there. They got it on the 45-yard line. They put together an 8-play, 55-yard drive, and they go up 21-10. And again, so we're down 14-10, maybe an opportunity to go down and take the lead to start the third quarter. We kind of have that weird play. They get the ball, and they end up scoring. A big flip of momentum at that point in the third quarter.
It was. But again, Alan, and that's what you feel good about our guys is that they continue to compete. They could have buried their heads, and like you said earlier, and we knew the history going there. People go there and they go to die when they get behind because Sam Houston just starts lighting it up, and our defense didn't quit. They played hard. We gave up the touchdown on a short field, but they continued to play hard, and offensively, we had to figure out a way to get back in the rhythm and get back into this thing.
Next couple of possessions do a really good job. We talked about earlier, Philando Jordan had the big interception.
Yep.
He turned them away right there on the interception. And then we have the fumble. You talked about that earlier where we had an opportunity. We blitz off the edge, you get the big fumble and get the turnover right there as well. So caused a couple of turnovers there in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's, it keeps those teams off of the field offensively, puts us back on, and again, we started running the football a lot better. Our offensive line took over on there were quite a few possessions that we did a really good job running the football between the tackles, and that just goes to show you what's going on in there with the centers and guards and tackles, how we're coming off the football. And it was fun to watch that part. You don't want to always put the game in Chasen's hands. You want to be able to do the things you want to do when you want to do them, and there's got to be some physicality involved there.
So let's set the stage here. It was 21-10. We get the fumble. We get the football around midfield. We put a nice drive together. 6 plays, 43 yards, get it down there. And again, just couldn't put it in the end zone. And it's an 11-point game at that point. So when you get stopped, if you don't kick the field goal there, you're trying to make it a one-possession game. I know that's the thought process.
Absolutely.
It was a tough angle because he is too. I know he's going to say he wants to make it. I know you're going to say he's got to make that. He's got to make that kick. But it just didn't work out. We had to end up settling for a field goal from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, we did have a good drive and got down there, and he's got to make the kick. But you do. You want to. When you get in games, you want to count possessions as to how many you think you're going to get, and how the clock's ticking and what's going on with the clock and stuff like that. So we felt like, take the points now because you're not sure when you're going to get back down there again. But if you do, you only need one score. So it's just one possession to do that. So we took the points and just didn't work out for us.
How difficult is it as a play caller, as a head coach, to not want to force the issue at that point? Earlier in the game, you're down 14-7. You kick a field goal from the 1. You get down here again. Now you're down by 11. You want to make it a one-score game. How hard is that decision? Not to try to force the issue and get a touchdown.
No, it is. It's never the right choice when it doesn't work.
Right.
Let me put it like that. So we missed a field goal, so that was a bad decision. Well, not really. So when you look at the reason why you did it, you can go both ways on that, and you can have a good argument on either way. And if we would have competed and scored the touchdown right there and went for it on 4th down and scored it, then it had been a great call, right? And but if you didn't do it and you say, "Guy, you passed up a chance to pull within one possession." So I think to me it was more important to pull within one possession to put us with a chance to either tie or win the game at the end.
They end up having probably their best drive of the game. After that, they go 9 plays, 80 yards, put it in the end zone. So it's 28-10. And again, your team doesn't shut it down. I thought you did a really good job getting back in the game. You go down with 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You put a score on the board. You make it 28-17, and you're right back in this thing because you have almost a whole quarter to go.
We challenged our guys after last week's game that we didn't feel like everybody got a chance to see who we really are. And when they looked at the film, a lot of times you don't see it while you're in the middle of it, but after the game and on Sunday they got a chance to look at that game film. And I don't know if embarrassed is the right word, but they didn't like what they saw on film. So I thought that the week of practice was good, and I thought the way they responded to that, we referenced that. that this is the time to really show who you are, and I thought our offense did a good job going back down there and getting those points.
Coach, late in the game, you get the football back with 8:31. You're down 28-17. They actually stop us. We end up getting sacked. We have a fourth and long. You decide to punt the football and play defense, and it really worked out for you, and you got the football right back. But talk about that decision. I mean, is there ever a time to say, hey, we got to go for this here? I mean, what's the math there? Is it just a feel of the game? How's that working?
You know, once you get outside of about 3rd and 6 or 7, the percentages of picking up that first down go way down. So if you get to 4th and 7, which is the same thing, percentages go way down. So if we were inside of that 2, 3, 4 yards, we'd have gone for it right there. But punt, let's go play good defense again. Let's stop them. Let's see what happens, and then let's do a good job, get the ball back. So where we were punting from, putting them down on their end zone, and Ivy hit a good ball there.
Yeah.
So put it back down there, and then we held them defensively.
Yeah, they ended up starting the drive at the 3-yard line.
That's right.
So you did a good job. Everything really worked out. You hold them. They punt it back to us. We go down. We get the score. We get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, man.
And just like that, we scored a minute and a half. So it's 28-25 with 2:59. I think you had 2 timeouts left at that
Absolutely.
point.
That's right.
So you decide to kick that thing deep. I mean, again, if you kick it deep, we don't get the ball back. It doesn't look like it's the right decision, maybe. But I think
if you onside kick it and don't get the ball back, here's just how the thought process going into it. So onside kicking, you got to, and it's not a 50-50 chance. It's probably 80-20 that you're not going to get it, but there's an opportunity for that. We're saying that our defense has to stop them. Right. For us to win, the defense has to stop them. So if we punt the ball deep down their end zone, now they're going to have to go, around the 20 or 25. We've got 2 timeouts. They go 3 downs. They have to punt the ball back. We're going to get pretty good field position around the 30.
And I just want to point out, in the previous 2 possessions, they've gone 5 plays and 3 plays. You got the ball right back.
That's exactly right. And we felt good playing defense. So punt the ball down there. Kick off deep. Forced them into running 3 plays, which they did. Like I said, the first one was a busted play. And we just had guys kind of got out of whack, and they ran the football more effectively in that drive than they had the entire game. And that's what was disappointing. So using our 2 timeouts, we were using on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd down would have been a ticking clock, and they would have had to punt on 4th down. So, that was the plan. And then now we go down the field, score, kick the field goal to tie, score a touchdown to win. But it didn't work out for us. We couldn't get off the field.
Didn't work out. Lions dropped this one 28-25. They trailed 28-10 in the 4th quarter with about 13 minutes left, and were able to rally and give themselves an opportunity to win. Just couldn't quite get that last possession. The way the offense was clicking there, though, in that 4th quarter, they could have got the ball back. Who knows what could have happened. But, hey, nevertheless, the final score, 28-25. Got to put this one behind us. We got the McNeese State Cowboys coming in here this Saturday in a 2:30 kickoff at Strawberry Stadium. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to the Cowboys right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Hey Lion fans, your defending Southland Conference champions return to the court very soon. We are very excited about this season. Get your season tickets now. It's going to be a great year. Line up.
Each summer, student-athlete leaders from the Southland Conference's 13 schools get together for a retreat. Before we start another season of competition, there's time to have some fun and bond. We also share experiences of serving our campuses and communities. Together, Southland student-athletes completed more than 30,000 community service hours over the past year. We pull for each other and push to make each other better. Just part of what makes us Southland strong.
Domestic violence and sexual assault is an issue affecting college campuses all across the country.
Every student has the right to pursue an education free from violence.
As a coach and leader of young men
and women, I know I play a pivotal role in creating the culture our students live in.
Here at Southeastern, we are committed to changing the culture. Sexual violence and physical abuse are never okay.
Lions just don't stand by. We act.
I am pledging to do my part.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am the solution.
And I will set the expectation.
All right, welcome back. We have about 20 minutes left to go here on our show, Inside Southeastern Football with Coach Frank Scelfo. As always, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. Again, if you're watching on Facebook tonight, you want to send in a question for Coach Scelfo, you can type the question in there, and I'll read it aloud here at the end of our program. I mentioned it in the open. I'm going to say it again. It's officially McNeese Hate Week as Lions and the Cowboys are going to get underway this Saturday, 2:30 kickoff. And this has been an outstanding series, between these two programs. And I know this is going to be the first time, Coach, you're going to have an opportunity to coach in this game. And we've had some wild ones here in Hammond. The last time McNeese won here in Hammond was in 2010. They kicked a 55-yard field goal to win the football game. That's the last time they won here. We've had some crazy ones in there, walk-off plays, the Allo to Brandon Acker crazy play a couple of years ago. In 2016, we had the Mott to Mueller where we faked the punt and beat them there in 2012. So we've had some really good contests here at Hammond, some fun ones where we've got the better of the Cowboys. And they have a really good football team this year. They're 6-2. They're 5-1 in the conference. They're leading the league. They're coming off of a big win this past week at home against Central Arkansas. And again, this is a program that anybody that's associated with Southeastern certainly is familiar with. McNeese has had a lot of success in the Southland. They've had a lot of success in FCS football. And again, this is always a fun rivalry, and I'm sure you're excited to participate in it for the first time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you always want to measure yourself against the best teams, and this is an opportunity for us against the top team in the conference. So they're ranked in the country. They're in the top 10, I would think. I don't know, maybe top 15. I'm not sure where they're going to be ranked this week, but, they're up there. So that gives us an opportunity to gauge who we are. I mean, it's every week, you got to go out there and put your best foot forward, and you hope it's going to be good enough. And we can't we got to continue to do the things that we're doing well, eliminate the things that we don't do so well. But, growing up in New Iberia and Southwest Louisiana, you knew about McNeese. Right. But you also knew the rich traditions of, when you look at Northwestern, McNeese, Nichols, and Southeastern, those four teams have been playing against each other for so long. And then you added in, it was Northeast at the time, and Louisiana Tech, that was the old Gulf States Conference and all that. So these rivalries go back a long ways, and these guys have been playing each other for a long time. So it is going to be cool to be able to do that, stand on the opposite sideline.
Let's talk about this team a little bit. They're 6-2. They're 5-1 in the Southland Conference. They've knocked off their wins this year against Northern Colorado, Houston Baptist, Nichols, Stephen F. Austin, Abilene Christian, and Central Arkansas. Their losses are to BYU, and 2 weeks ago they went to Incarnate Word and kind of ran into a buzzsaw. We've done that. They're tough over there in San Antonio. Certainly they've changed the culture in San Antonio, and they got after the Cowboys a couple of weeks ago. But I think the big storyline about these guys is they made a quarterback change a couple of weeks ago as they're James Tabry, who'd been their starter for the last couple of years, a guy who went to Holy Cross down in New Orleans. Now they're starting Ed Orgeron's son and Cody Orgeron, and he had a good game this past week. Didn't throw for a ton of yards, but he was efficient and made some plays with his feet, and that's certainly something different that he brings to the table.
Yeah, I think, the other guy was he'd been touted all season long, preseason, stuff like that, as being really their team leader. And credit Lance Guidry for making a change there when he felt like it was kind of offensively they were dying a little bit on the vine. And brought in Cody. He provided a spark. He's a coach's kid, so when you watch him play, you see the toughness, you see his leadership qualities, you see him do some things with his feet, like you said. Nobody's open. He's not looking to just throw the football away. He's going to try to go make something happen, which he did. He did a nice job this past week running the football, and we looked at the film. It was Ed doesn't look like he runs as well as Cody does. Cody runs a whole lot better than Ed looks, I can tell you that. So it must be he's getting that from his mom.
Yeah, so Cody Orgeron is going to play quarterback for the Cowboys. We're thinking. I mean, James Tabry's played, for most of the year, but this past week he was the majority of the snaps this past week against Central Arkansas. But look, let's make no bones about it. The way McNeese wins, they win with defense, and they've been a great defensive program for the last few years. Their their head coach, Coach Guidry, he was their defensive coordinator under Coach Matt Viator before he moved on to ULM, and they get after you. They pressure the quarterback. They play tough man-to-man defense on the outside, but if they're going to win, they're going to shut you down defensively, and that's how they want to play.
Yeah, and that's a staple for them is what they do on defense, and they've been doing it for years, and that's the way Lance wants it done. That's his trademark, is to play great defense. So we're going to have to match the intensity, the physicality. They're going to come at us from different angles, from as far as pressures are concerned, fronts. They're based in a 4-2-5 look, but we'll see those guys bounce around a little bit. There'll be some movement from them up front, so we'll have to find them. There'll be sometimes there won't be a guy with his hand on the ball, his hand on the ground. All 11 guys will be standing up, moving around, and it's not something, if our guys just relax, you can figure it out, it'll be okay. But we got to be able to handle that. And I think what they've been able to do offensively is basically control the clock long enough to keep their defense off the field so that when their defense does play, they're fresh. So that puts the ball in our lap to convert third downs again and continue to move the ball down the field and stay on the field as long as we can.
To go back to a point we brought up earlier, really the difference and where we're sitting right now and where they're sitting is they have 4 one-possession wins, and they've been able to figure out ways to win those close games.
That's right. And, that's where the experience comes in, guys that have been in those games before. And, give them credit for that. They even against Central Arc this past weekend, they were losing 21-20 in the fourth, and they got the ball back, drove down the field, and kicked the field goal to win 23-21. And, so when you're able to do those things, your kids know they've been in those battles enough. It's time for us to win one of these games.
A couple of interesting statistics about the Cowboys this year. One thing you don't see very often, especially on a team that comes in first place in the Southland Conference, they're number 1 in total defense, and they're dead last in total offense. So they're getting it done with defense, and they just keep it in a low-scoring game, and they think they can not let you score. So that's how they win, and that's what they've been so good. You don't see that very often, though, where you see somebody in the league.
Not anymore. You're seeing guys just throw it around a lot, but they're winning. So that's his formula. That's what he wants to do, and he recruits that way. He's built kids. He's got some kids in there that he's grown up, and they're 4-year guys for him, and they understand his system and things like that. So it's pretty neat to watch the evolution take place under him and in the last 3 years of what they've done. But they were successful before when he was the defense coordinator and Matt was the head coach here. Yep. They've done a good job. So there's been some continuity there that's been really good.
Again, if you look at the schedule earlier in the year, a lot of them is going to say 7 o'clock kickoff. The game is now moved to 2:30. It was picked up by Cox Sports Television. So, again, want to make sure we get that message out there. It was released a couple of weeks ago, but just again, it's a 2:30 kickoff this Saturday afternoon in Stromberg Stadium. It's going to be televised on Cox Sports Television. You can also watch it on the Watch ESPN app if you're outside of the Cox Sports viewing area. And always you can listen right here on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. A couple of tidbits series history. Overall, McNeese leads the series 24-19, and Hammond Lions lead 13-7. In the last meeting last year, McNeese knocked us off 13-3 over there in Cowboy Land. And Coach, before we get to a break, another thing about this Saturday is Senior Day. You're going to have several seniors there play their final game in Strawberry Stadium.
22. We'll have 22 go out on the field and be honored, and it'd be great to have everybody there, create a home field advantage, but also to take a look at those guys who go out every day. People don't realize how special a college football player is when you're having to wake up in the morning and go to 6 a.m. workouts and go to class, and you finish class, we got practice, and then after practice we're going to look at some film, and then you got to go to study hall, and then that finishes up around 8 or 8:30, and wait, I got to do it all again tomorrow. So the life of a college football player isn't all the glitz and glamour that you see on Saturday where they get to go and play around, and sometimes they turn it loose, and it's during the week that grind. So it's special for those guys to do that, and for us to be able to honor them at their final home game, that's important. I think it's important from a traditional standpoint. Being able to honor your seniors as they go out for the last time at home is something that should be appreciated by all.
I would think on a first year, as this is your first year here at Southeastern, this is always a unique senior class, is the fact that they had to get to know you had to get to know them, and really a short period of time. I'm sure it's one you'll always remember here at Southeastern.
Yeah, I got it. They gave me a ball and they all signed it, which was pretty cool. I'm surprised there wasn't any dirty notes on there or something, but they all signed it, gave it to me, and it was that was really neat to have that. But these are guys that, anytime there's a change, they embrace the change. They embraced me. One of the first questions I asked you, can you wait to get your guys in? I said, these are my guys. This is my team right here. This isn't somebody else's team. This is my team. And I take full responsibility for everything good and bad that happens with these guys. So they've been fantastic. They've done such a good job for me, making the transition so seamless. And they're pouring it out there on the field, man. You can see them. You're watching them play every week. They're playing hard, Alan. We're not getting the results we want. I know that. But they're playing hard. They're doing everything they can.
All right, we got to get to a break. When we come back, we'll have some questions. We'll wrap it up right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Imagine life without football. No Friday night lights, no pep rallies, no band. All that time invested to teach young men and women commitment and team spirit, gone. Football, where young men and women compete to be the best, where bands, cheerleaders, and countless others take part in the team experience. Celebrate the passion that only happens every fall. Join the game.
Hey Lion fans, we're ready for another exciting year of women's basketball. Get your season tickets now and line up.
Welcome back. About 10 minutes left to go here in our program. Lions are going to be taking on McNeese State. Come in the polls this week. They're number 11 in one poll, number 12 in the other. They're 6-2, 5-1 in the league. They're going to be in Strawberry Stadium for a 2:30 kickoff. It's televised on Cox Sports Television. You can watch video on the Watch ESPN app if you're outside the Cox viewing area as well. And as always, you can listen right here to the voice of the Lions, Mark Willoughby, Ryber Rhodes, and myself as we bring you the game on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. For all those that have been worried about Mark's okay. He's going to be back this week. He just had a couple of weeks.
Mark.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen Mark
Mark's going to be back this
while.
week. He had some previous obligations he had to take to back up, but he will be back this week, and he will be there against Nicholls State as well on that Thursday night. So Mark's okay. I've got that question a lot. Is everything okay with Mark? Mark is fine. He will be there this Saturday.
Good to hear that.
All right, so the Lions are going to take on McNeese this week. Coach, we got a couple of questions rolling in here today. We're going to get to those real quick as we just covered this one just a moment ago, but I'll reiterate for maybe somebody that wasn't listening. Coach Sam from Hammond says, Coach, can you talk about these seniors in your short time with them? Again, a special day. It's senior day at Strawberry Stadium.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, them embracing me and making me feel welcome and part of them. And, we have a team dinner every Sunday night, and there's been people all over the community that come in and sponsor that and feed our players. And we sit around and we talk and we laugh and anything except football. And for us to be able to do that really has brought us together as a team, as a unit, as a family. And we get the kids from CASA over there, which the seniors have kind of spearheaded that to, let's get as many kids as we can over here to play out on the field and do some throw passes and run routes and just hang out with those kids. So you see what, not only as players, but you see them as people. And I think that's what the most special part of those guys are. And I really appreciate that from this group.
Coach, here's a comment that really comes in off Facebook. It's really more of a comment than a question, but I'll get you to comment on it. It says, Coach, I think this has been one of those seasons where it just wasn't meant to be. Every week it's just been something different. I believe this will be great help in seasons to come, and let's go win those in-state games.
Oh, appreciate that. We look at it the same way, Alan, and whoever that was, thanks. Things haven't worked out like we wanted to, and a lot of times things don't go according to plan. But you got to figure them out, and you got to work through them, and you got to continue to grow. And that's what we're trying to do as this season goes on. We've got a lot of young guys that hadn't played a lot, and when I say young guys, I'm talking about in terms of inexperience, not age. We've got a lot of juniors and seniors, but those guys haven't played a lot. So that they were thrust in positions where they had to play. There wasn't anybody else. They had to play, and they wanted jobs, and they've continued to improve as the season has gone on. So we're looking to grow those guys, especially the juniors that are in place that are playing for us right now, that'll give us an opportunity in the coming seasons to grow with this program and become better football players. But every week for us, look, we put it behind us. It's behind us now. We're on to McNeese, and we're moving forward, and we're going to continue to grow. We want those guys to take that same attitude as they go out in life. When they leave Southeastern, and I talk about it, I can't say it on air where you're going to get kicked once you get out there in life, but it's going to kick you, and you got to step back up. So each week when we do get kicked, we got to step back up the next week and be prepared and go back out and fight for everything that we want.
Coach Mitchell from Baton Rouge will squeeze one more in here tonight. He says, Coach, what part of your team has improved most since day one?
We've talked about that as a staff. In fact, we talked about it about a week and a half ago. I think our offensive line has really made the most improvement from week one from the standpoint of being more physical at the line of scrimmage. And I think it's shown up, and you can't look at stats all the time and say, well, you can point to that. But in this case, our ability to run the football with authority when we want to, it's been we've done a better job of that. And it's because, look, our backs are good. They are who they are. But our offensive line has done a much better job creating some creases in there for those guys to go through. So I think that the growth of those guys, we had our left tackle, Pat Allen. He hadn't played there before. Our left guard, Drew Jones, Tavares Tate, Rendon Miles character. Those guys don't have Jarius Gooch. Those guys don't have any experience, very little. Shaq McClain played some last year. Kyle Strickland alternated. So those 5 guys have kind of come together and, created a pretty solid unit for us up front. So there's been some growth there.
Coach, I'll get you to comment on this quickly before we get out of here. As the way the schedule falls, this is our 10th game without a bye. Health-wise, how are we? I know Lorenzo didn't really play this week. Austin Mitchell was kind of in there a little bit, not a ton. But, again, our bye comes after Week 10. It's kind of a strange time in the season to have a bye. But you've played. This will be your 10th game in a row.
It is what it is, man.
Okay.
You can't. We don't make the schedule. They send it to us, and we say, let's play. Sometimes you like to call and cancel a game, and they don't do that. Sometimes you want to play a doubleheader in the parking lot. There's a lot of times when you don't win a game on Saturday, you don't play well, you want to play the next game as soon as you possibly can, And the only situation where you don't is that, like you said, the injury situation sometimes piles up when you play straight through. But that's not – that's why we create depth. We have a race to maturity with our kids, our younger kids, and we plan a lot of freshmen, a bunch of walk-on guys that we feel like are going to be good players for us in the future. And like you said, Lorenzo didn't play. Austin played 4 snaps. But, it is what it is. Both of those guys will be game-time decisions for us on Saturday.
Lions and the Cowboys will get after it at 2:30 in Strawberry Stadium. It's the home finale here in 2018. It's also Senior Day in Strawberry Stadium. We hope to see you there. And, Coach, a couple of minutes left. Give us your final thoughts tonight as you put Sam Houston behind you and get ready for the Cowboys this Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, they're done, but there's stuff to build on. We watched the film, really did a great job looking at it yesterday, going out on the field, going through some stuff, had a family meal. Today, the coaches have been in the office. It's a player's day off. They've been in the office watching film. Everybody's been grinding away, putting together a game plan, a winning game plan. And we met with the seniors today, and talked about the upcoming week and, kind of what it meant to them to be here and spend time with them with that. And we'll do that as the week goes on to kind of get, their vision of what they have been through since they've been here and what they've seen since they've been here and how they like to see things going forward. And, so it's an exciting time for them. It's their last home game, and that's special for them.
It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be sunny
70 and sunshine.
Yeah, the high is 70 on Saturday. It's going to be an absolutely glorious day in Strawberry Stadium on Saturday. We hope to see everybody out there. Again, 2:30 kickoff as the Lions take on McNeese. It will be televised on Cox Sports Television, and you can also watch on the Watch ESPN app or listen right here on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. I want to thank everybody who came out here tonight. We always want to thank Topla for being our host. They do a great job each and every Monday night. We'll be back next Monday night to break down that McNeese game right here on the Southeastern Sports Network. I want to thank Kimler Chapel for providing us with all these statistics and doing such a great job with the Sports Information Department. Colton Vickers for getting us on the stream on Facebook and also on YouTube as well. We also want to thank KSOU 90.9 for being our flagship and also all the affiliates that bring our show to you each and every week. For Coach Frank Scelfo, I'm Alan Waddell. We'll see you next time right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.